Tomato harvest from Zeus Barge Garden at Whitehall. William Hovey Smith, 2016. I'm Hovey Smith, the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, and we also cook. I salvage soils from a cemetery plot, and I have a video about that. I also salvaged some soils from a rotted wood pile, and I have a video about that. And I mixed them together and planted these tomato plants along with some potatoes, and I have a video about that. And I harvested the potatoes in August, and I have a video about that. And now we're getting ready for the final result now in November and harvesting the tomatoes. Now these plants were actually planted here on June 16 in this container, and they were previously in pots. And now we're going to see what happened. There are two plants here, and these tomatoes are getting smaller than they were. They did get larger than this. Of tomatoes. Now, how did the plants physically do? The plants seem to have done all right, except for tomato hornworms, which really got on them bad at one stage. Although, surprisingly enough, my labs like them. I even found them picking the hornworms off the plants if they could reach them, or along the ground if they could see them. So, yeah, that's one way to have some help in your garden. You show these to your dogs. Yeah. Now, if they don't trample the plants down to get them, yeah, you may do good. Okay, let's see what the roots look like. Now, this should be fairly spectacular here. So I imagine they covered about the whole thing. Yeah. It looks like a reasonable root mass for a tomato plant. So surprised it didn't get out even further. See about this one. Yeah. So the roots certainly did spread through the tub. Went quite deep. So the plants were well anchored in the soil. That certainly wasn't a problem. And they grew around the cage here and held the cage into this tub. So all that kind of worked. Now, some of the excess leaves here and stuff. See about the soil itself. You can see now the soil itself. It is certainly loose and friable and dry, even though I watered it just yesterday. You can see the small capillary roots from the plants. And if we go down to the bottom of the tub, there's actually a layer of roots that were right along the bottom, right along the edges. So the plants had completely utilized almost every available point of contact where they could gather some water over the last several months. So the fact that the roots completely penetrated the soil certainly indicates its viability. Now in the soil, what do we find? Well, we still find some few undigested or undecomposed wood fragments in here, like this one. We do not find any insects whatsoever. So the fact that this was a raised bed kept the insects out of the roots, and that was good. Next time what we'll do is actually put about 30% clay in here, which will do two favorable things. It will help acidify the soil and also add to its water retention ability. So doing that, the plant should be even more vigorous next year, and we should get some bigger tomatoes. Well, but now, this is Hovey Smith, reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe, goodbye, God bless, and see you next time. One aspect of rural living is you never know what you're going to find in your house. Well, you have heard of having scorpions in your boots, and that's a precaution in South Africa. Well, what about lizards in your tennis shoes? Yeah. And here we go, and this little fella here, he's in out of the cold. We got our first little snap of cold weather. This is one of our variegated lizards. Yeah. He's a cute little fella, and he's quite live, by the way. He knows he's been spotted, so he's in stealth mode. Yeah. There he is. Yeah. No harm, nothing to get very excited about. And we're going to see if we can ease him outdoors where he really belongs. Yeah, I know he's warm in here, but not enough food in here to keep him going. Not only am I the author of Backyard Deer Hunting, I have other books too. And these include Extreme Muzzleloading, Crossbow Hunting, and Practical Bow Fishing. Now, I do have previous videos on salvaging soils from cemetery plots and rotted wood piles, sterilizing and mixing them, as well as harvesting the potatoes, as I mentioned. Now, tomato worms were the major predators in here. For more information on my books, blogs, and more than 550 videos, you can go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye, and God bless.